This is hashtag Inspo, brought to you by the Play Inspired podcast. All right, how's it going, my friends? It's Judy Vergara here, and welcome to this episode of hashtag Inspo, where we hang out with inspiring individuals who's really changing the world. And today, we're hanging out with the one and only Kevin Hinkle. Kevin here is a minimalist. He's living a life of least harm to the planet as possible, okay? He's a man that just radiates love and joy all over, okay? And he's here to share his journey with us here today. Now, Kevin, give us a little bit of an intro and give us a little sneak preview what it's like inside your world.
Well, yeah, thanks for having me, first of all. It's an honor to be here. I think the biggest thing for me today is being in the flow. And so throughout my life, I struggled with that concept because I would get caught up on all the things that life brings us and stress and all that. So as I'm allowing things to come into my experience, they're happening, and I'm not resisting anything, and I'm taking everything in as it comes. So I think that's the biggest takeaway from where I am right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's amazing. Now, Kevin, you're talking, you mentioned that you're a joyologist. Now, please break that down for us. What is a joyologist?
Okay, great question. I hear it a lot. There's a video on my YouTube site that kind of details my thoughts on it from about 2 years ago. But today I would say everybody is their own joyologist in the sense of we are responsible for experiencing our own joy. And so a joyologist is basically someone who studies their own inner joy. And so what I like to do is when I hang out with people, when I interact, no matter how it is, email, text, on the phone, in person, whatever, I feel a strong desire to bring that joy out of people and to show them that it's in there. First of all, you have so much joy inside you that it can't wait to get out. So that to me is a joyologist, and we all are one. We just don't realize it. And so I'm just going to shine the mirror and say, you're just like me. We're all joyologists, and let's be this together.
Yeah. That's amazing. That's amazing. It's so powerful. I love that. So now I went through your site, and I know you're in a mission to pretty much relieve the world of disease and pain. Now, what brought you to that journey?
Oh gosh, I would say 1,000 little things along the way, but one very large thing was an experience on a chicken farm in Delaware. It will be 5 years ago next month. And I spent the night there with a family that was working the farm. What I experienced, what they shared with me, it moved me to such a point of I have to make changes in my life. I don't know how I'm going to do it. And it's scaring the hell out of me that I'm not going to eat meat anymore, whatever. But I can't go on. I can't unsee and unexperience what I just did. So I think we all reach those points where, okay, I've seen enough where I have to make a change.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it takes us longer than we would like it to because we're comfortable and we enjoy our conditioning. A lot of times it's air conditioning, but most of the times it's mental conditioning.
Yeah.
So to step out of that, I mean, spend a whole year without air conditioning and see how uncomfortable it makes you feel. It's the same thing when you step out of the conditioning of your mind. It's uncomfortable. So once I learned how to be comfortable in my uncomfortableness, it all just kind of rippled from there.
Yeah. That's amazing. And that's something that, a lot of people are scared of, is just trying new things just because it makes them super uncomfortable. And they're really scared of what it could bring, right? In reality, that's where the magic happens, right?
I love that. Yeah. That's awesome. Question everything.
That's right. Yeah, that's awesome. So you mentioned that you don't eat meat. So you've turned. I know I saw it in your site as well that you're vegan. Hey, is that yeah? Okay, yeah. So now like it gets a bad rap sometimes, right? Like vegans, vegetarians, and all that stuff. So what do you find is the most common misconception about veganism?
Wow,
Sorry.
that is a loaded question, no doubt. I personally don't like any labels. So when like you just asked me if I was vegan, I'm kind of uncomfortable saying yes to it, but it's what
Mm,
people relate to, so I said
yeah.
yes. But I don't really consider myself anything that is connected to a word, because we're so much more than that. We're so much
Yeah.
more than the words that we use, and all of these words are so limiting in their descriptions and their meanings
Yes.
that it pales in comparison to our true essence. So having said all that, your question, I think the biggest drawback to telling someone, to sharing that you're vegan with somebody, is their conditioning of it. I mean, I had
Yeah.
never really heard of a vegan 5 years ago, and I thought it was kind of an odd thing.
Mm,
And so when somebody would tell me they were vegan, I was just like, okay, well, whatever. I like chicken, so too bad for you. And so when people respond to me that way today, I look back on how I used to be and think, okay, well, everybody's still open to change. It's just they haven't heard enough to get to the point where they cannot continue like they are.
yeah.
So I don't know. I think it's just relating to people where they are, instead of saying you have to stop eating meat, you have to do this, you have to do that, or you're a bad person kind of a thing. And I think there's a lot of people out there that are doing that. They're judging people that aren't, and they're like putting this wall of separation in between. And so the communication is breaking down, and nobody can relate to each other because they're talking from their boxes. So I try to break down all those boxes, and I mean, if I feel like eating something that is animal product with somebody that I'm introducing all this to, I'll do it because it's me relating to them where they are. And it's not me selling out where I am.
Mm,
It's not that at all. There's an empathy involved with sharing with people. And and then it almost takes away any concept of this person could be better than me, or this person could be lower than me on their awareness level, or whatever. You're not only seeing them where they are and meeting them where they are, but you're joining them in where they are. And that's huge. That breaks down walls so quickly. So when you speak, your words mean a lot more because you're right there with them.
yeah. Yeah, that's amazing. I just want to circle back a little bit in there, empathy and relating to people where they are. A lot of times, we get super frustrated trying to make other people see the way we see things, that we forget that they have their own stuff happening on their end, right? So, yeah, meeting them where they are. Yeah. It's
People have their habits for a reason, and we can't just walk in and expect to walk all over that and not give
Mhm.
it some credence and some value. And yeah, it's huge.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah. So now you've had lots of ups and downs, right? Like in your journey, you've been doing this for a while. What would you say has been the hardest obstacle you've faced so far in your journey?
Gosh, I don't think it's been hard in any way. I wouldn't even equate that word to any part of it whatsoever.
Mm,
I think the most interesting part of it all is realizing that, and I think we could use this across the board for all concepts in life. We think that we get to a point where we are an expert or a master, or we know a lot about something. And
mm,
I have learned that that's a huge trap. I like to wake up every morning knowing nothing.
mm,
And then everything that comes into me is a learning experience. And even if I'm relearning it, it's going to be different. It's going to be new. It's going to be a first time reception of information. And I
mm,
think that's really cool because it keeps everything fresh and flowing into you. Whereas, you know how somebody starts to say something to you and you catch a few words and you already are like, yeah, I already know that. Well, you've already stopped listening at that point because you think you know what they're telling you. So you're not really hearing what's being said. You can't possibly learn something new.
Mm,
So if you wake up knowing nothing, your learning capability is elevated to an awesome level. And it's
mm.
fun to see how different that is.
Wow.
I think that's one of the most interesting things that I've learned along the way.
Yeah. That's so powerful, waking up every morning knowing nothing, pretty much just starting fresh, always having that learner's mindset. That's
Yeah.
amazing. It's something that a lot more people should employ.
It
Yeah.
also adds a level of creativity and imagination,
Yes.
and you're just open. Your antennas are always up and receiving.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
we have 2 ears and one mouth for a reason.
Hmm. Yeah. That's amazing. 2 ears, one mouth. Yeah. So in your journey, right? Like you're you're on a journey of relieving the world of disease and pain and living a life of least harm possible. Where do you see your journey going next? Like, what's the next step for Kevin Hinkle?
Good question. If you had asked me that question 5 years ago, I would not have come close to imagining it would be where I am right now. Same thing
Mm,
with 3 years ago, a year ago. So I think that I'm going to be somewhere in a year from now that I couldn't possibly sit here and imagine.
mm,
And if I did try to place a goal, I don't do goals for that reason, because psychologically, when you reach a goal, you kind of stop, right?
mm. Yeah.
Well, how much further could you have gone if that goal wasn't there? Could
Yeah.
you have gone twice as far? Maybe. How would you know? Because you changed your experience by having the goal, which is setting a ceiling.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just the way I look at it.
Well,
So
yeah.
I don't really have an answer for you because I don't do
That's
that.
fine. Yeah, that's all right. That's perfect. That's actually a very fresh take on things. I talk with everyone and I love hearing about their goals, but that's a very new, fresh take. I don't do goals. I just want to see how far I could push this. That's amazing. That's
Yeah,
amazing.
because the whatever limit you are perceiving, you can always keep going beyond it every time. Every
Hmm.
time. There's always more gas in your tank, no matter how empty you
Absolutely.
think you are.
Absolutely. Wow, that's so powerful. Thank you so much for that. Now, Kevin, you're living a spiritual life and that's amazing. I love your journey. I love following you on Facebook. I love following all your work. Now, I just have a quick question. Do you have a daily ritual that contributes to your daily wins?
I don't know, and my days are like all over the place. Actually,
Yeah.
I, I there are no patterns to my life. I don't do the same things every day because I'm the kind of guy that gets bored easily. So if I had rituals, if I had things that I did every day, I wouldn't be enjoying myself nearly as much. So if I wake up and I feel like going out on the lake on the paddleboard, I'll do it. If I feel like going to the beach, I'll do it. If I feel like doing yoga, whatever. It's just a feeling and a flow that is continual. So I don't really plan much of anything. It just goes.
That's amazing. Yeah. Kevin, in such a short time, you've dropped so much value here for us. You've shared so much of your journey, so much of your heart with us, and we really do appreciate that. Before we wrap this up, though, real quick, please give us a parting piece of guidance. What's that one message you want to leave with us here today?
Oh gosh, so one message. I would say that the more we can bring ourselves to a place where we're beyond our mind and soak in that experience. And I don't mean like meditation necessarily or something specifically. There's 1,000 different ways to go beyond your mind. And I'm not talking about like magic mushrooms, although that will probably do it. But
Yeah.
there is a pattern of our thoughts. And once we start to observe those thoughts and realize that we could become a victim to those patterns and that those
Mm,
patterns could start to define us, that's magical in itself, because our thoughts can kind of take on a life of their own, and then we become our thoughts.
mm,
So I would say observe your thoughts
Mm.
and pay attention to what your mind is doing, and realize that you are not what your mind is saying. Those are all perceptions based upon the five senses, which we all know can mislead us. So, is any of that even real? Is that all an illusion?
Yeah.
Soak in that, you'll find a whole lot of stuff in there that's
Yeah.
rich.
Yeah.
And everybody's going to have their own answers for that.
That's amazing. Thank you so much, Kevin. Thank you so much for hanging out with us here today, dropping some major value, sharing your heart with us. You are getting lots of love on Facebook here. One of my friends here is saying that you are such a beautiful soul. So,
Oh, thank
yeah.
you.
Yeah, he is. He is, right, guys? He's an amazing soul. That's why I have him on in here, hanging out with us today. Kevin, real quick though, before we hop out, what's the best way that we could connect with you?
I'm on Facebook and Instagram. My website is kevinhinkle.com. You can always check that out. There's hundreds of pages of information on there. There's a contact link. It goes straight to my email, so you can email me anytime through that. I'd say that's the best way right there.
Right. That's amazing. Again, thank you so much for hanging out with us, Kevin. We really do appreciate it. And guys, keep the hearts, the likes, the shares, and the comments coming in. If you have any questions or you have anything to anything to mention and to add on to Kevin's message, or anything to ask us, really, just drop them in the comments and we will address them as we see them. Other than that, guys, you have an amazing day. Kevin and I are gonna hop out, and we'll see you on the next episode of #Inspo. Bye, guys. Later.
Thanks for having me.
And there you have it, my friends, the one and only Kevin Hinkle. What an amazing soul, right? What a sweet guy. Guys, please head over to judyvergara.com/Kevin-Hinkle. So you could go ahead and check out the show notes page, right? And there you'll find what we talked about, right? Like everything that we discussed, where you could connect with Kevin, and also some free gifts for you, okay? So guys, head over there and go check that out. And as always, keep the hearts, the likes, the shares, the comments coming in. I love you guys. I appreciate you. Now go out there, okay? Have an amazing day. Have an amazing week, right? Go out there, work hard, play hard, and play inspired, okay? Go chase after what makes you happy. Bye, guys. Later.